Hey everyone, it's Christy back again. It's still the 21st of October 2025. It's 1:50 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. I actually did this video really late. I think it was Tuesday last week. But there was just a couple of things that I didn't feel comfortable with when I tried to put it over to the iMovie to make it into a video. It didn't all come across, and it was just problem after problem. So I realised I needed to revisit it and just redo it again. So on this one, it's on Kanye West and Bianca Sensore. I think that's how I pronounce it. I know she's an Australian girl from Melbourne, and I think most people would know who Kanye is, at the very least know who his ex-wife is and who he has 4 children with. But just to explain this video, because it's a bit different to how I normally do it, but I quite often get shown things without knowing who the people were. So for a long time there, I saw Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban getting together, but I just didn't know who the people were. Then they got together and I'm like, that's who that was, and I could see that happening. I got shown Deborah Lee Finesse and Hugh Jackman's split before it happened, and I do believe that he thinks that Sutton Forrester is the love of his life. Whilst whatever my personal views are on how all that went down, I do believe he believes that. So just to give context, this is another thing that I've been shown, and when I put the story of what I've been shown, and when I put it onto video, I think it'll make sense that I'm putting 2 and 2 together and assuming it's Bianca and Kanye, but there's nobody else that I can put together that this fits to the point of somebody coming back to Australia after being in an extremely provocative relationship, shall we say. I don't know how to word it so it doesn't get censored by YouTube on that part. So I'll go back to what I have been getting shown. I'll explain that as I go, and then basically what I see for the outcome for Bianca, and we'll go from there. So I've been shown that there is a lot happening on the intimate front of their relationship, involving other people as well as them, in all sorts of different scenarios. Some of it she's willing, some of it she's not willing. Can I also say, before I keep going, this video is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is fact. It's just for visions that I've been seeing and me putting a story together. Time will tell whether it's accurate or not, but in no way is it fact. Okay, so back to what I've been getting shown. So she is a willing participant in some of these activities. Some of it she's been manipulated and coerced. It has turned into a very toxic relationship where she's doing anything and everything to keep him happy. She went into the relationship being this outgoing, out there type of personality that has lost her confidence and her belief in herself. Towards the end of this relationship, I do believe she will seek therapy and be in that for a while, and then seize her opportunity to get out. I've done a lot of years in community services, so I see the same type of pattern as a woman fleeing DV as to how she will extricate herself from this marriage. And yeah, it could be DV. I don't think there's violence, but there's a hell of a lot going on. But it's very hard when you've got somebody with a mental health issue too, because is it DV or is it just their mental health? And not to put that label on them, because I don't know if they can help it, but when they're not willing to get medication, it also makes it extremely difficult. So I see that happening. I see her starting to work on her self-esteem in this therapy and starting to really claim some of herself, and that gives her the opportunity to see the exit signs. When she exits, I'm unclear. I think she may stay in the US for a couple of months and then quietly come back to Australia for family support. Now, I have been shown 2 different scenarios here, and at any time there is many different outcomes. The most predominant I've seen is just her returning with not having had children with him. But occasionally I do get shown her coming back with a couple of children. So I'm unsure which way, but at this stage I will say that I don't believe they will have children together, but there is potential there for it to occur. And yeah, just send love, because I think it would be much easier to leave if there wasn't children. But if there are, they deserve love and all the compassion and support in the world, and it may be what gets her through. There will be a lot of trauma for her to process, and a lot of healing and forgiving herself for the situations she has ended up participating in, and coming to terms and accepting that, and the public shame. I have seen some of the media in Australia, because we probably get a little bit more because of her being Australian and such a small nation, and people have turned on her that once knew her and said some stuff about her, when I actually think she needs a lot of love. Her family, I think, are doing everything they can to support her and not to lose contact with her, because they're hoping to get her back. So they're not stepping in, they're not going to be blaming Kayne or anything like that. So her family's priority in it all is to maintain the relationship. That's what they truly care about. They don't want the relationship breaking down, because they don't want to lose their daughter totally. So there's a lot that they have to bite their tongue on, they have to conceal in order to keep and maintain the relationship, but it is becoming more and more distant as time goes on. Now, the timeline for when this relationship breaks down, I am unsure on. I know she's one of 3 or 4 girls, and there's one sister that couldn't care less about fashion. She's career driven. It's like she needs help with what clothes to wear that suit her, because it's just not her thing. Now, either it's going to be a wedding or a baby in her life, and it's at the time that all this is unfolding that Bianca returns, and she has to go undergo more fairly deep therapy. There is a lot of trauma associated with what she's endured in this relationship. So that occurs, she comes back to Australia, she has support, she lives a very quiet life after this, and becomes a bit of a wallflower for a time. She doesn't want to be attractive, she doesn't want to be noticed, she doesn't want to be seen. So she goes into that state and slowly comes out of it. And there's somebody, it's like a next door neighbour, somebody she grew up with, somebody in her family's orbit that she has this very, very, very strong connection with, and she ends up in a romantic relationship with him. Now, there are 2 possibilities at that too, and I am sorry, there's nothing definite. But the most likely is that she gets a happily ever after. But she is going to have to be careful that she doesn't bring some of the trauma and the intimacy that's happened in her marriage, recreate that in this new relationship. So that's what I get around her, and send her a little love too. I think that's all you're ever going to hear from me. Just send love, just send love, just send love. So I get that. On Kayne, I think there'll probably be another huge scandal coming his way, potentially at the time that him and Bianca broke up, and another massive one after they've broken up. And I think one or both will involve law enforcement. I'm not saying anything other than that because I don't get it clearly enough, and I don't want to speculate and put something out there and get that energy to create it, because ultimately I would love to see this man taking medication and helping himself to live a more stable life without inflicting pain on others. And I'm not just talking his marriage, I'm talking his public statements and some of the things he's come out publicly that have caused so much pain to so many people. So that's where I come from on him. I think also it's fine to blame him, but I think maybe we also need to look at the way that celebrity culture is undertaken, because he's been given so much power. He's had the money to then buy yes people, and nobody is actually looking out for his interests. Then probably Bianca, but I mean, how much can she endure in trying to save him? She's losing herself. I don't necessarily think he will ever take medication, but that's just the predominant timeline that I don't really see him removing. It just stands out for me so clearly, but it doesn't mean it can't change, and I pray to God it does, because there's 4 children who need their dad at the end of the day. So that's where I take it, and in my mind. But at the moment, I don't think, for entertainment purposes, he'd be in their best interests. But that's just my personal take, and it is coming from judgment, which is something I do work hard at not doing, which you wouldn't believe if you listen to my Justin Baldoni Blake Lively videos. So I can be a hypocrite. But I just want to share that vision I've been getting for you, and I do think there will be resolution and dissolvement of that marriage, and for somebody in a very troubling situation to find some freedom, not to find some freedom, to find their freedom. So yeah, I just want to share that one with you all. I hope you are having a great day. I doubt I will be doing another video today, but never say never, and have a good one, everyone.